Hello and welcome back to the Spin the Rod podcast. I'm your host, Angel, and with me today is my co-host,
Vaughn, and I believe only Vaughn for today.
yes, sir. Dry off season so far. Nothing but me while we're saying nothing but will the Warriors keep Kaminga or will they not? Who knows? Who cares at this point?
But the big piece of news right here: Kyle Kuzma switches his number to 0 now that Dame is gone. I think it's an homage to the points he put up in a playoff game, but who knows?
or homage to how helpful he was during the playoff games.
Yeah,
0.
yeah.
All right. Well, we do have scheduling news. Let's start off with Christmas Day. That is one of the biggest days in the basketball season, up there with Thanksgiving and NFL. So why don't we get right into that? I have the games here. Mid update, Eugene might be joining us after all for the main topic. Um, anyways, Cavs versus Knicks, Spurs Thunder, Rockets Lakers, Mavs Warriors, and Wolves Nuggets. How do you feel about this lineup?
I think these are all like good games, but I'm shocked there's only one Eastern Conference game here. Like they're
Yeah,
all West head to heads, and then one East head to head, and that's wild. It just feels grim for the East right now. Um, if this is any indication, and I know there's going to be some teams in the East that are better, but it feels like overall in the playoffs, if you win the West, you win the chip, like guaranteed. I don't think there's a team in the East who could even compete for it.
yeah.
Um,
I've been an
yeah,
East defender. Even though I'm not a fan of a team in the East, but I like try to defend the East as much as I can. I can't defend the East anymore after this, like, because one, all the teams that are good, their stars are out. So the Celtics are out. Jason Tatum's down. They lost a lot of pieces. Pacers, Halliburton is down. They lost Miles Turner. Cavs, Knicks, those are the only two teams in the East that might actually do something this year. 76ers were a shell of themselves. Uh, the Magic aren't really, I don't see the Magic, really doing anything this upcoming season. The Bucks fell apart. It's just like, I don't think there's any team who does, I'm not going to say deserves, but I don't think there's any team in the East who actually, like, will be blockbuster on Christmas Day. And that's just kind of sad because East has always been called the weak conference, and it gets proven time after time.
yeah, we had that brief grace period where it's like, okay, there's some noise in the East, but now we're right back to, you know, day zero. Um,
Yeah,
and maybe this will be temporary only for this one season, and next season comes along and it shakes out to be better. But just looking at how the NBA this season is valuing the schedule, Christmas Day, Cavs Knicks, that is probably the most exciting game you could probably get from the East. But I also can't fault them for it because all these other West games are looking nice, like Spurs, OKC. That could be not just like a great Christmas Day schedule, but I'm pretty sure every one of those games are going to be, prime time. Rockets, Lakers, KD versus LeBron on Christmas. I'm all for it. And then Mavericks, Warriors. Like I don't know if it's the Klay Thompson connection or just like
yeah.
if it's two older teams going against each other. That's part of it. But even then, I'm interested in it. And then Wolves Nuggets. A classic playoff matchup 2 seasons ago. So um, yeah, I don't think there's any misses for once. Usually there's like some stinkers in there, but I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to the whole schedule.
I would say the past 2 years have been pretty rough. Our first year, we had a pretty banger list. Past 2 years, there was a lot of misses, a lot of rehashing of rivalries that weren't there anymore. Um, but this year, I'm actually really, I mean, Spurs Thunder, we said it on the podcast that we think Spurs might have a chance to be a dynasty again. Um, you know, Mavs Warriors, I think you're right. I really think it's just Klay Thompson and, his connection with the Warriors. Nuggets Timberwolves is always like I don't care regular season, postseason. That matchup is always a like instant like banger. Um, so that's just gonna be fun in general. I do feel bad Cavs Knicks only East representation. But at the same time, that's the best East matchup you're gonna get. So like that's gonna be fun as well. I feel like all of these games might also have some implications on their record as well, because a lot of these teams are expected to be in the top of their standings. So who knows? We might see some upsets. All right, and then opening day schedule as well. Vaughn, if you want to list them off for us.
We got the Houston Rockets versus OKC, and then Golden State Warriors versus LA Lakers. Also a fire opening. I
Yeah.
like this. We're not only going to get so many more Curry versus LeBron matchups,
Yeah.
and why not throw that on opening day? Why not let that, open the season up? And I think a lot of people are interested in seeing how KD meshes with this Rockets team because KD kind of just seems like you can put him on any team and he'll be effective. But for the Rockets, is how much are they going to rely on him? And the fact we can see that day one,
Yeah.
that's a plus. And OKC, I mean, who doesn't want to see the reigning champions?
Yeah.
It's a
Exactly.
good selection of for both these games.
Again, only West games. It's just the signs are there that if you're an Eastern Conference fan, you're not gonna be watching games at 3 p.m. You're not gonna be able to go to the bar after work to watch your team play because it's just going to show that right now the East is not prime time, not box office, and it's sad, bro. It's really sad because I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hope.
Despite like some big markets in the East, we might see some of the lowest national games for all across the eastern side of the NBA. It's just
Mhm.
the NBA is telling us with these important days of the schedule, and just like, how does anyone have hope for the East at this point?
Yeah, for real. All right. Moving on. Or do you want to did we talk about the in-season tournament?
What was
Didn't
changed
they
or added?
release this groups or my
Oh, they might have.
they did. Yeah, so why don't we talk about the in-season tournament as well to kind of extend the time. Um West Group A, I'm gonna go through all of West, all of East, and then we can talk about I have some questions that can lead us into a discussion. So West Group A is the Thunder, the Timberwolves, the Kings, the Suns, and the Jazz. West Group B is the Mavs, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Grizzlies, and the Pelicans. West Group C is the Nuggets, the Warriors, the Rockets, the Trailblazers, and the Spurs. East Group A is the Hawks, the Cavs, the Pacers, the Wizards, and the Raptors. East Group B is the Celtics, the Nets, the Pistons, the Magic, and the Sixers. And East Group C is Hornets, Bulls, Bucks, Heat, Knicks. Right off the bat, group of death. In your eyes, who's the group of death in this in-season tournament?
I mean, it's got to be C because the worst team there is the Blazers, and they're probably going to have a great defense like they did last year. And you got Nuggets, Warriors, Rockets, Spurs. Those are all going to be very competitive teams,
Mm-hmm.
I would say. And for I guess the East, I don't love any of those groups. A, it feels like Cavs dominate. C, the Knicks dominate. B, it could be Magic, Pistons. Um, but then also the tournament is very hard to predict because I think I've gotten every prediction wrong about the in-season tournament.
Yeah,
So
we've had some dookie teams make it pretty far. The Bucks won it all last year. The Pacers in that first year, they weren't really necessarily a good team, and they made it all to the finals. I think East Group B is the strongest group in the East for sure. As in, not in the terms of the teams are the strongest, but as in the Celtics, they lost Tatum and all their guys. So they normally this would be a cakewalk for them, but now they had dropping games to the Magic before. Um, the Pistons are a lot better than they once were. The Nets, They can surprise us, and the Sixers as well. The Sixers might be able to sneak out of there. So I think the group of death for sure is West Group C, but East Group B is probably the strongest group in the East. Cakewalk group, East Group C, bro. That like going to the Knicks and then whoever else in that group. Like I can't predict who will come second because the Hornets are dookie, the Bulls are dookie, the Heat are dookie, and the Bucks have been known. The Bucks are just like not who they were, so they can lose these games very, you know, pretty. They might like. It's not like they might like come second. It's like no, I think that they definitely can come behind the Heat or the Bulls.
Mm. And I didn't even talk about Group A or B. Like, oh, there's no prediction I could make. Um, I will say I don't think OKC even reaches finals. It feels like their focus is elsewhere, and that's how it really goes for these, championship finals aspirations type teams. Is they don't go all in on these games. Like I thought my team would last year, year before, and it just never is the case.
Mhm.
I could see the Timberwolves at least taking that group. Group B, I could just say the Lakers are here. Luca and LeBron early in the season. Um, I think they're at most danger of like losing steam deeper in the season, but early on out the gate, I think vibes would be good. I could see Lakers taking that group B. Um, but like when they release these things, like last year's type, same type deal, I'm not really excited seeing all this because they don't mix East and West teams, and that
Yeah,
would be so much more fun. Like we've been saying this, like why not just try it out?
yeah,
Um, Even if it's like less games altogether in the tournament, to save on schedule and flights and all that. Okay, so be it. But it would just it'd be way more interesting. And if they're gonna experiment, like they should start trying things now.
yeah. Yeah, we've been saying this for a while. I mean, we said it the first year because at that time, every competition we had was East versus West, the All Star game, um, the finals, the in season tournament. So it's just now that the All Star game is always switching formats, it's only two competitions. But like, still, at the end of the day, I feel like these groups are starting to become a little boring because it's not. There's only so many ways you can mix them up. You can't really like after like the next 2 years, I'm sure we're gonna see like, okay, they're in the same group again, like just So I think like mixing it up will keep them on their toes. We could have classic matchups, West versus West, East versus East. Like we can get some really interesting moments out of it. And it's not like the NBA doesn't do interconference play, you know.
Mm.
Every team plays every team at least twice. So it's just like it just doesn't make any sense not to do it. I personally think I said in the group chat, I think these the groups in general are lame as hell. None of them really made me excited except for uh West Group C and then East Group B. Those were the only I brought those groups up specifically because those are the only ones I actually care about. Those are the only ones I might actually watch. As far as all the other groups, like I don't really care. They're not. None of them are really exciting.
Yeah, I don't really think this is a good way to generate interest. Is I think the NBA thinks this is way more exciting than it actually is. And I think they think the courts are more appealing than they actually are. It's just like if you're gonna do something for this, maybe do something with the jerseys instead, because we've all been saying how the courts are an eyesore as well. Why not? Oh, but like I also get it. Nike jerseys, the city edition and all their new edition jerseys have been rough in the past. So if they don't want to make like an original jersey for the tournament games, maybe more like a throwback jersey, like a way back jersey, like old type style. Maybe that could be like the theme. They could add a theme onto the tournament. Um, just something. I don't know. Just like if we're gonna see this every year, I'm just worried the views are going to go down because I kind of said this in the beginning, but the more times we see this each season, it interest kind of dies down. Now we got Eugene back. What's going on?
A
It's
new
good.
hero joined the roster.
Say again?
I said a new hero has joined the roster. We're just talking about on the midseason tournament how we think the groups this year are kind of boring and they really need to do East and West groups. How do you feel, Eugene?
I haven't seen them. Let me NBA in season tournament you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let me see. For this upcoming season, not last season. Or have I seen them and just forgot about them?
I can
Were
resend it to the group
released-
chat.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
But yeah, both me and Angel have been saying there's only really one super interesting group in the West and then one like group worth watching in the East.
Oh yeah. So I'll see if I agree with both of you. The group in the West that I think is the most interesting probably B for me, because like C has the Nuggets, the Warriors, the Rockets. The Trailblazers might do a little bit more this year, and the Spurs might do a little bit more this year, but with the star power of the Nuggets, the Warriors, and the Rockets, it's probably going to be hard for both of them to come out of that group. Group B, Pelicans are a bust. Grizzlies are low-key a bust. But I think it's just exciting to see hopefully a healthy Mavericks team, hopefully a healthy Clippers team. What are they calling it? The function, the unction. So hopefully they're healthy, and then with the Lakers actually having a full squad, Luka for a full season, we can see what that comes to. And then Group A is just like, that's just nasty, bro. I won't even talk about that. East Group B, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like C, bro.
Really?
I kind of like C only because maybe the Hornets might not do anything or all that much, but I feel like now with the way the rosters are built out, it might be the most competitive. They might not be good games, but they might be the most competitive because the rosters aren't all that. You know what I mean? I think the Knicks, obviously are up there. The Bucks are crumbling. The Bulls are kind of in a rebuild stage. The Heat have no idea what they're doing. And then the Hornets are the Hornets. But I think it might not be the best group, but I think it'll be the most competitive group. Group B is going to be a mess, bro. The Celtics, the Nets have no idea what they're doing. It's going to be the Pistons or Magic coming out of that, and the Sixers are kind of crumbling as well. And then East Group A, the Hawks, Cavs, Pacers, Raptors, and Wizards. Oof. I think you could have swapped the Wizards for the Hornets. I'm not going to lie. To make it a little bit more interesting, or like the Wizards with the Sixers. If the Sixers were in Group A, I think, or like the Nets, I think it'd be a lot better. The Wizards are kind of holding them down. I think with the Raptors too, because like the Raptors, didn't you have the Raptors for your spin the wheel team, Angel, last season?
No, 2 seasons ago. Last season I had the Hornets again.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Raptors aren't doing nothing.
No, they're really.
Same with the Hawks though. They did just get Tingus Pingus, but I think I like East Group C. What group C like?
You had complete opposite takes. So we think East Group B is the best.
Really?
because anyone can come out of it. And then West Group C is the best because even though there's a lot of star powers, a lot of them can end up like it's the second team coming out is going to be complete. Like the two teams who come out of West Group C is going to be completely up to grabs, honestly. Because
That's true.
there's three superpowers and two underdogs, so it could really be anyone getting out of there.
That's true. The Trailblazers are not. They're not. Respectfully, they're not. I don't care what they did in the offseason. Not in this group. I think if you mix some teams around a little bit, they might have a fighting chance. But I think the Spurs could even come out of it, though, low key.
That's what we were saying. Is that like there's three teams who like could for sure come out of it, but that the second spot is really up to grabs because I feel like the Nuggets. Let me relook at it. The Nuggets can definitely come out of it. The Warriors can come out of it. The Rockets can come out of it, but the Spurs also can. So the fact that there's four teams that can like make it out, it's like what two teams will it be?
Right. It'll definitely be interesting. West Group A is like my equivalent to what I said about East Group B. I think it's just gonna be a mess, bro. Like obviously we'll have OKC in Minnesota, but then we got the Timberwolves, or not the Timberwolves, the Kings, the Suns, and the Jazz. Jazz ain't doing nothing. The Suns really aren't doing anything either, and the Kings have been crumbling for the past few seasons now. So
yeah. I have no faith in West Group A.
Mm.
Just because it's kind of obvious. So how do you feel? Do you think it's starting to get? Because we were saying that it's already starting to get boring with the groups. Do you agree? And do you think they should start mixing it with conferences, or do you think it's not there yet, but they just start thinking about it? How do you feel,
bro? Hot take. I've probably been saying this since like the pandemic, bro, like the bubble season. I think just in general, playoffs needs to be top 16 seeds, bro.
So you think get rid of East and West and everything?
Yes. Like
that's crazy.
I do like the East-West groups. And this is what, the second or third season of the NBA Cup?
Third.
They're still in their feeling out process of it. So it's like, I think after this season, they'll then start to make changes. But based on, NBA history, they love East versus West, so they might just stick it out. But I really would like to see the interconference groups. You know what I mean? That would be fire.
Yeah. I just think it would make it so much less predictable, bro.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're already seeing some teams in the same groups already. I think Lakers Clippers have been in the same group twice now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's and we're only 3 years in.
And they're trying to build narratives from the NBA Cup and kind of like intertwine it with the regular season, which is like, I get it, I guess, but it's not necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and you're right, they do, because I was saying earlier, they've had the first year of the midseason tournament, they had 3 competitions that were East versus West.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I think, especially with how I've been an East defender, they've been so weak these past 2 years that I can't imagine them getting any stronger if they don't at least just face more West teams more often.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make sense why they keep them so separate so much, especially because during the regular season they do play each other.
Right.
It's not like they never play other conferences. It's just that I don't know. I guess they want to test it out first, but I don't know. I think they need to change it before.
I hope after this season they make some changes. Mm-hmm. Whether it's good, bad, or otherwise. I hope they make some changes, because I think now, being 3 years in, they've seen or after this season, they've seen what it is, how fans reacted to it. Maybe they're listening to the fans and be like, yo, change the NBA Cup, take it out, leave it in, do whatever they got to. But I think they should definitely change the format going forward after this season.
Personally, I think just scrap group play. Just go all in on single elimination games.
That would be hard. That
Winner
would
go
be
home.
hard.
Right, because
That
at
would-
least no one thinks the Hornets have hope in a group play situation.
That's
But
true.
maybe they just get lucky one day. They're hitting all their shots and they take out, the Knicks or something. Maybe they don't go all the way, but it just shakes it up. Like our
They
own,
lose their regular season games,
Right.
but win the NBA Cup games.
like this would be professional ball March Madness pretty much. And
Yeah,
that
that
would
would
be a
be
fair format.
that would be crazy. Not only that, but like then if they really want to like keep East West, then like it won't be as boring.
Mhm.
But even if like let's say they do interconference for that, bro, can you imagine if the Hornets eliminated like the Nuggets, like in the first round of the NBA Cup, or like the Thunder like barely lose to like the
The
Pacers,
Jazz or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's just like there's just so much more they could do if they did single elimination. I think group play would be good if there was like a lot of teams in the NBA. But there's 30 teams. You have like 6 groups, and it's like
Mhm.
6 groups of was it 5? Like
Yeah.
that's just like I don't know. I think the group play would be awesome if they did what I said the very first year and they get G League teams in here as well. Now,
Hey, adding the G League and the NBA Cup might be crazy too, bro. They could, bro. The NBA could do anything. I feel like they're just lazy.
yeah, they just want to play it safe, which I get why, but like it's obviously popular. Like
Mhm.
everyone was hesitant the first year, but after that first year, it's definitely a lot more popular than I thought it would be, honestly. So
I think they just gotta market it better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they still feel like, I mean, the playoffs felt like regular season low key last season as well. But with the in season tournament, you know what I mean? Like I feel like they could do some better promotion around it to, even though like it's still technically the regular season, they can make it feel like it means more. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
yeah, and anything can happen kind of situation,
Yeah. Mhm.
All right. Well, moving on to our main topic, we have succeeders and disappointers like we do every year. We each have a team that we thought succeeded this season and a team that we thought disappointed this season. But before that, we do have our hot seat. And this year, normally we do a sleeper all around. But who do you think was the most slept on teams this season? Whether they succeeded or disappointed, I think people slept on how bad they actually were. I think people slept on how good they actually were. Who would you think was the most slept on teams?
I guess the Timberwolves, because after you lose Cat, we all kind of casted them aside.
Yeah.
That's
And then-
facts.
Because it just the thought of Julius Randle right next to Gobert was not exciting at all, and we kind of just we gave up.
Mhm.
But then they go back again to the Western Conference Finals, and it's just like, okay, we made a mistake, and we need to recognize that they're just always going to be competitive no matter what. Gone are the days where it's basically just Cat, or you finally get a player like Jimmy Butler to get you the playoffs. First time since Kevin Garnett. Now we should just be expecting them. They're gonna go far every year, or they're always gonna be a team to make it tough on any team that hopes to get far. And they're pretty much the same team now for the most part. And again, I'm falling in that trap where that's not very exciting to me as a thought. But I just have to recognize that they're probably going to be, pretty high up in the standings, and at least aren't an easy first round out.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I was sleeping on them during playoff time as well. I wasn't. It wasn't just regular season. I honestly full-heartedly believed they were going to be out in the first round. Like there was no doubt in my mind. And then the second round, I was like, "Oh, they're losing," and then they won. And it was even the conference finals. I was like doubting myself. I was like, "Man, I think the Thunder are going to win." but like I'm not sure anymore. So I think Thunder's a really good pick, or Timberwolves are a really good pick.
Yeah, I mean, you also kind of mentioned it, Vaughn, but like, when trade deadline came around and they got rid of Cat, the entire league was just like confused. And not only they traded for Cat, but they traded for Julius Randle, who prior was not playing well. So it was
Yeah,
kind of like, why are they trading essentially their franchise player, one of their franchise players for, a subpar player who's in a rut right now. But lo and behold, it worked out. Did it work out to, its fullest potential? Who knows? They only had half a season together. So we'll see next season. I've been excited for the Timberwolves. Maybe not the Timberwolves, but Anthony Edwards. But I think, hopefully, for Anthony Edwards' sake, they'll have a better season than they did this year. Because wasn't Cat out as well for like a part of the season or of last season, or am I tripping?
I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to the Knicks, so I'm not too sure if he played a full season last year or not.
No, I mean with the Timberwolves. Like, was he out at any point? I feel like he was.
Oh yeah, their run against the Nuggets when they made it to the conference finals that year, he was out most of the season.
Okay. But yeah, the Timberwolves was a pretty good pick. For me, I mean, I don't want to sound like cliche or anything, but I think the Pacers were pretty slept on, bro, like all the way through the finals. You know, the Pacers have been slept on for multiple seasons now.
Yeah.
Both the players and the team, the organization itself. And I don't think enough people have talked about their playoff run that they had to go through. They 4-1 the Bucks. Now the Bucks, were whatever, but they 4-1 the Bucks. Dame was hurt, sure, but they still got Giannis. Beat them, went on to 4-1 the wasn't it the Cavs in the second round?
Yeah.
The number 1 seed, second best team in the league, Cavs, went on to beat them. Then they beat the Knicks in 6, who was also a 3 seed. Seeing a 4 seed make it to the finals, and not only make it to the finals, but take the best team in the league to 7 games, bro. Like, I'm not going to say it's unheard of, but you don't see it very often.
Yeah.
So I think that's impressive. I think the Pacers have been slept on. I still think they are being slept on, to be honest. But yeah, bro, Pacers, they're getting a chip in the next 3 years, bro. They have to.
Yeah. I mean, it also doesn't help, like, being slept on in a way that, like, bro, the Bucks were so bad this season, but yet they were still predicted to beat the Pacers by like almost everybody.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, like, we didn't think the Bucks were going to beat the Pacers, but like most people did think the Bucks were going to beat the Pacers, and so like that just shows how slept on they are. That a poorly ran Bucks team were like the over. They were predicted as like the favorite to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, handle the Bucks, they handle the Cavs, and it's like even when they went like onto the Knicks, I think that's when people finally started respecting them. But like even then, bro, like I don't know. I feel like the Thunder was like them taking the Thunder to 7 was when people were like actually like, oh shit, the Pacers are really good,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, man, I don't know what took you so long. I think it was their slow start to the season as well. They kind of stumbled out the gate and then found their way halfway through. But like, man, I think the Pacers were truly slept on this season.
Yeah, and it was the whole season too, for the most part, for basically the whole world. Because going into the regular season, I don't think anyone had them, being a top 5 team. I think some people even thought they were going to be a play-in team still.
Mhm.
And then playoffs come along, like you said, we were like one of the few people even saying Pacers beat Bucks. But I can guarantee you, no one had them being a finals team to begin with.
Yeah.
No, definitely
Just
not.
Yeah.
like you could not predict that, and it really took me like, oh, they just beat the Cavs in 2 games. I have to actually consider they could shake it up, and then they did.
Yeah.
And it's just in ways you could never predict, like Halliburton game winners, like multiple throughout the whole playoffs, and some wild ones too. It's just that was like such of the thrill of that team, and I'm glad we did get that.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna say my sleeper just in case someone says it for their 6 years. So I'm gonna save mine. So why don't we get into it? Who wants to kick us off with the first 6-seater? Or disappointer. If you want to do your disappointer first, that's also.
I'll go for 6-seater. We saw them at the top of the standings. Not like number 1, but I think they were like top. They were at least top 5. I think even top 3 at one point. Then before All-Star break, and then All-Star break came, and they kind of, slipped and fell, but made the playoffs for the first time in a long time. I'm gonna go to the Magic, bro. I'm still sleeping on Paolo. I'm not gonna lie, but the Magic had a solid run to start the season. I'm pretty sure they were like the 3rd or 4th seed at one point. And then, like I said, after the All-Star break, they kind of just slipped and fell. But finishing at the 7th seed, this has been they were literally 41 and 41. But I think this has been their first. I think we can call this a good season. In a while, the Magic have been, in purgatory for so long, in the realm of Wizards, Pistons, Jazz. So it's nice to finally see a bad team get better as time goes on.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that was like through a lot of injuries, like to
Mhm.
their star players as well, and for them to even be like in playoffs, not a lot of teams would have been able to do the same. Just not just that, but they have their blueprint for the future moving forward too, and that's just because of the groundwork they saw last season. And you know, a lot of these teams, these middling teams or teams that should tank, just don't get it. But the Orlando Magic do get it, fortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you really hit it on with that. They really were like at one point destined to even make the playoffs without going to the play-ins. So like
Yeah.
it was kind of crazy that like they started off so hot, injuries kind of caught up to them. But like to still easily handle the play-ins, not really break a sweat in the play-ins, get a game off the Celtics before this like when Celtics were still predicted to like win it all. Like that's very impressive. I think the building blocks are there for them to keep moving forward in the East, especially with a lot of the big names, predicted to fall short this season. I can see them easily finishing top 5 this season. Um, it's just they just have all the right pieces, and even though for so long it looked like they didn't, they had like 6 point guards at one time, bro. Like they were really just like a mess of just random players that they got through the draft. And now it seems like they're slowly figuring it out themselves. They're trading away pieces, they're picking up pieces that they actually need. It just seems like they actually have a game plan moving forward, and I feel like that's exciting for Magic fans.
Okay, for my 6-seater, I've got the team involved in the most fuck-ass trade in all of sports history, and that's the Lakers. Because they guaranteed their future for the next 10 years.
Yeah, bro.
Rob Pelinka, job security, you can't fire the guy that got you Luka Doncic. Been over this. Give up nearly no draft capital. Basically, no future prospects, no nothing. It was just like AD, Luka, and now here we are. Didn't have to fudge the relationship with LeBron. Like he's been understanding, like, okay, I'm now secondary to Luka. The franchise is going in this direction. But now you get to see what this pairing does.
Yeah. For a whole season.
Yeah, for a whole season. And then you kind of figured out even last season where your holes were. Need a center, need some more defense, need some shooters, or it was very clear then, and now they've gone out of their way to at least attempt to rectify and smooth over those mistakes. So there's not a lot of positions you want to be a GM in other than the Lakers right now, I feel. It should be easy. But money and all that stuff, challenges come your way. But
money's a little challenge.
but it's just like you have two of the best players in the world on your team right now. You're never gonna get it any easier than this. So yeah, Lakers fucking envious. I'm envious of them. I won't lie.
I mean, I can see why, also being a Celtics fan and, the whole situation that y'all got going on in Boston. But I'll save my Lakers discourse for later.
All right. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. The way that they were fighting to get out of the play-ins before the Luka trade, kind of in that area, and then they skyrocket the second they get him, bro. And it's crazy. It really is insane, like how well that worked out for them so quickly. They were nowhere near the third seed all season, and then they get Luka, and then it's just like they climb. It's like not even slowly, bro. You can't even say slowly but surely. They skyrocketed up to the third seed, bro. And it was kind of insane. And I feel like if it wasn't for Luka's poor defense, they definitely could have gone further in the playoffs as well. It's just Luka kept getting exposed against the Timberwolves. But next season, bro, I don't know if y'all seen the pictures of Luka. He slimmed down so much, bro, that it might be even scarier next season.
LeBron sent him his diet, bro.
LeBron said, "Get in the Cairo chamber, bro." It's time to start freezing your body every single day. But it's just crazy how well they pulled that off, and just didn't it made it so seamless.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't really any growing pains until the playoffs when we first saw it. But that happens, bro. You can't expect to take that team and instantly win a championship. But it looked like they definitely could, because the ease Luka fit in the regular season, it was just scary, bro. It definitely was as a Nuggets fan, I was like, oh man, if we go into Lakers this playoffs, I think it might be a hard fight. But I don't know. It seems like they know what they need to do, and that they're doing it so far. They're getting defensive players, they're getting shooters, and it's just yeah, they definitely fell into success, bro. Because come on, that's such a shitty trade. All right. Well, my six-seater was also my slept-on answer, and that is the Pacers, bro. Or not the Pacers, the Pistons. The Pistons were not only slept on because nobody even thought they would make it to the playoffs, but they also made it to the 6th seed, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They went from the worst team, one of the worst teams in NBA history, not just in the league that season. They were on pace to be the worst team ever, to a 6th seed, taking the Knicks to 6 games, bro.
Literally in one season.
In one season. And it's honestly crazy how they did it, with the combination of picking up Malik Beasley, who you could say he was slept on as a player, and then Cade Cunningham showing that he is an all-star. He is that guy. And it's it was a 180 in a way I don't think we've ever seen before.
Mm.
Just from one season being the worst team ever to the next season being a team that almost toppled a top-seeded team. And it's just like, where they go from now, who knows? After the scandal with Beasley, it might be another growing pain season. But like, man, that's the definition of like success, bro.
Is their coach still Monty Williams?
No, it's no, Monty Williams got fired for sure. I can't remember who their coach is now.
I never heard about, because I remember he like re-signed or extended or something, but I didn't hear anything after that. But no, the Pistons were going to be my honorable mention if they weren't brought up, because like, again, like you said, like they were on pace to be the worst team ever in NBA history.
JB Bickerstaff.
JB Bickerstaff, okay. Oh, Cavs coach. He was a former Cavs coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they just completely, like, I don't know what they did, coaching wise, or I don't know what happened, but a flip was switched, or a switch was flipped. I don't know, however that saying goes. And they completely turned around and missed the play-ins entirely.
Yeah.
So hopefully, they can come off of this season. They have the confidence now. They have the experience now. And try and do better than what they did last season. I believe in them. I hope Cade balls out like he's been doing. And they go from here strong,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of hope there.
It was a season so good for the Detroit Pistons after coming from poverty to being a playoff team. People were already calling Cade Cunningham a top 10 player. I don't think he's there yet, but he will be.
I think he's top
based on
20
the-
for sure. I think he's top 20 for sure.
Yeah, he's the exact kind of guard fitted for the NBA. Tall, kind of does everything on offense, and leading his team. You could do worse. But yeah, the fact that the Pistons are here now, I wanted them to be in this position 2 years ago,
Mhm.
but the GM was just awful.
Atrocious.
Yeah, I think he's the GM for the Pelicans now, so it doesn't surprise me the Pelicans are bad now. So the fact that the Detroit Pistons are freed and the future is bright, finally.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Hopefully, I just one more thing. Hopefully, if things work out right with the Pacers also losing Miles Turner and the Bucks losing Dame, they might sneak into that 4 seed next season, bruh.
Bro, the East is so unpredictable in the worst way possible. They're not unpredictable because they're all strong teams. They're unpredictable because all the teams that were strong are now weak as hell. And so
we might see the Heat not be an 8 seed. They might be higher.
Yeah. It's honestly like after the Beasley scandal, you're like, damn, bro, what are they gonna do now? And then Halliburton goes down. They lose Miles Turner. Celtics get rid of everyone. The Cavs, choke the bed, like shit the bed. It might be like Bucks and shambles. And like losing Beasley is not the worst thing that could happen to you in the East right now. Like it's definitely not the worst thing that could happen.
We can go out and get another shooter. That's fine, bro.
Yeah. It's just crazy how what could have been like, oh shit, now what are we gonna do? Turn into like a blessing in disguise, but then there's a lot of free space up in the East. All right. Honorable mentions.
I don't think so.
Rockets?
As a succeeder, yeah. I was thinking more like disappointers, but I think everyone played the way they were supposed to. Disappointment wise. But yeah, I think the Rockets had a great season.
Second in the West, bro.
Yeah. And now they have KD. They got rid of Brooks and Jalen Green, but like they got Kevin Durant. So
I could be.
There you got it.
I was going to change it to the Knicks for a succeeder honorable mention, but you got anything else?
I was just gonna say they kept the majority of their young core or whatever, so
because
it might do even better. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Knicks did what they couldn't do with Carmelo, and they made it to the conference finals.
Yeah.
So that's probably a big win for their book, no matter how much they fell short to get to the finals. But you know, the fans were going crazy. The fans loved it. They're paying out so much money, but I guess this is the biggest win they could get.
And still fired Tibbs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank God, bro. Thank God. That's the biggest successful thing they did, bro. Get him out of there.
They're in their right mind.
They're in the right man, bro. It's crazy that they did it the year he made it to the conference finals, bro. Not last year when they lost in the second round. Not the year before when they lost in the first round or like barely missed playoffs. I don't remember which one it was. But like they did it when he finally got to the conference finals.
They said, you can't send us to the finals? All right, you're out of here, bro.
Yeah. All right. Well, how about for disappointers? Who do you guys have for disappointers?
Sixers for sure. They were like in talks preseason to be a contender, and to just miss everything. Yeah, that's like we've been saying blow it up like the year before that. Joel Embiid, get out of there. I don't know how anything has changed. Joel Embiid still has to get out of there. The Sixers should still blow it up. But here we are going into another season, basically the same roster for the most part. And we're probably going to see a repeat. Maybe Joel Embiid is healthy. I know Paul George had knee surgery not too long ago in the off season, so it's not looking bright for him. They got VJ Edgecombe at least. He's the new addition. Jared McCain will be back. It's crazy that we have to rely on like the young guys to have
Basically,
hope for this
rookies.
team.
Yeah.
So like I don't know what the Sixers are doing. They're not going to rebuild, but last year, as bad as it was, they're basically saying run it back.
And it was still like, I don't care who you are. That's a disappointment. Like you could say like, can you really say they're disappointing when they fell apart so early? Yes, bro. Because they shouldn't have fallen apart at all. Paul George was a non-factor. Jared McCain was the best player on their team, bro. The rookie was the best player on their team. Like that's crazy. Like Tyrese Maxey is, doing everything he can, but like, bro, it's
He
just
can
like
only do so much.
exactly. I don't know what's going on in Philadelphia. I don't know what their game plan is. Maybe it's because Joel Embiid is injured that they couldn't blow it up this season, but that's giving them the benefit of the doubt. Like I doubt if Joel Embiid was fully healthy, I doubt they would have blown it up still. I think if it was just, let's say they did lose in the second round for the 7th year in a row, I don't think that would have made them blow it up. I think this scenario, if they didn't blow it up now, when will they blow it up, bro? Because you're finished the lowest seed in the easiest conference. Like that's crazy.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's like they're just the team in general is in that not necessarily purgatory state yet, but trying to figure out if they want to contend or rebuild. Because like obviously they have a bunch of young guys now, and then Embiid and PG still on the roster as well. So it's kind of like you can tell that they don't know what they want to do going forward. So it's like, again, we've all have been saying that they should blow it up and just stick to their young guys, send Embiid to a contender, send Paul George wherever.
Start
But
learning Chinese.
yeah, like I don't know, the Sixers, something got to happen, bro. Something got to happen. And firing Doc Rivers was, not the move either, clearly. So, and also, with the injuries that they have, it makes the situation even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Even outside injuries, when Paul George was playing, it had already gotten to the point where fans were saying he's now on the current worst contract in the NBA.
Yeah.
And I can't even disagree with that. Like, if he's going to come back and play like that, I think you'd just be better off him sitting and paying him for sitting. Because
Mm.
it's just the situation is not good.
I think the ownership has the right kind of sort of right mindset about it. Like they have the pieces to actually go somewhere, but they're never on the court at the same time. And when they were, the rookie was outperforming the 10 plus year veterans on the court. So it's kind of like when that's happening, you're not going to win a lot of games, which obviously reflects their record. But yeah, bro, they just blow it up. So my disappointers, y'all mentioned them in the succeeders, but the playoffs was just not it for me. I'm going Lakers, bro.
Really?
Yes, bro. Even though, we made the midseason trade for Luka, traded away AD. I really do think if we had AD still on the team in the playoffs, we definitely would have came out of the first round. I'm not blaming anybody, but we should not have got 4-1 by the Timberwolves. And also, Rudy Gobert had his legacy game, just so happened to have his legacy game against the Lakers. If AD was on the court for that game, that would not have happened. But I'm excited for our future, but I was disappointed about the way our season ended last season.
I mean, I guess that's fair. As a Lakers fan, you hold them to higher standards. Even though like you still shot up in the standings, yeah, going down in the first round. At the end of the day, even though you're a third seed, what does that really matter if you go down 4-1 in the first round? I guess
4-1 to a 6 seed, bro. Like, come on.
I guess I feel like disappointers, like you can say like they're not succeeded, but I feel like disappointers are a little harsh, bro.
Bro, I'm a realistic Laker fan, bro. Because like also you got to think about it. The Timberwolves also had Julius Randle, like on the court. They had DiVincenzo on the court. You know what I mean? Like they still were playing players that they traded for at the deadline. So it's like, even though we didn't necessarily have the pieces, to, I guess, get past the Timberwolves, I feel like we still could have figured out a way to, I don't know, to beat them, bro. Like, we should not be losing to the Timberwolves in the first round. Just piss me off, bro. At least if we lose to the Timberwolves, not in 5 games, bro. A gentleman sweep? It's kind of crazy, bro. And mind you, Ant didn't have the greatest series.
No, I mean they were shooting poorly all playoff season. Like all playoffs, they were like shooting awfully. But yeah, so I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, there's definitely a way with that personnel you win more than one game. So I can see that. But it's tough. That team did go to the conference finals, so they weren't no slouch.
Right.
But you do make a good point. This was a team built at the trade deadline. I guess the Lakers also had that problem too, but it really felt like that was a problem for them and not the Timberwolves.
Yeah. The Timberwolves figured it out way sooner than the Lakers did.
I mean, it doesn't help that I'm not gonna I feel like Luka gets too much, gets off too easily, bro. He was poor that whole series. He was so poor that series, and like on defense, especially, but also even on offense, there's times where I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah,
and it's just like, it just seems like the team was built to beat the Timberwolves, and it just didn't.
Yeah, we still didn't. Like,
I see where you're coming from. All right, my disappointer. I'm saying this not because I thought they were going to do good, but I'm saying this because they made themselves even worse, the Kings. How do you, at the trade deadline, say we need to fix something, and you make yourself worse. Like, how does that happen, bro? How do you go, okay, we were in the playoffs 2 seasons ago. What do we need to get back there? We fell short last year. Let's not fall short this year. You know what we need? We need the 2 guys that didn't do anything for the Bulls on our team. We need the Rosen and Levine. And it
That
just
play the same position, by the way.
it just did not and then at the end of the season, they're like, what do you think you guys would have done better? We need a point guard. You gave your point guard to an up-and-coming young team who needed a point guard, bro. Your competition. You gave the Aaron Fox to a team that could easily beat on you for the next 3 years now, bro. Like, it's insane that the Kings, even when they have something amazing, they still somehow throw it all the way because they think they have some secret formula. But, like, bro, all they needed was to get Vooch, and they basically would have had the Chicago Bulls on the Kings, bro. And, like, I was hyped for DeRozan at the beginning of the season. I was like, that's a good pickup. But, like, what makes you think, you're like, okay, I feel like DeRozan and Levine would work on our team? Like, what, bro?
Let's just make them the Sacramento Bulls, bro.
It just makes no sense. They shot themselves in the foot, and I think that's what makes them disappointing, is that they could easily fix themselves, but they just kept making dumb move after dumb move. Didn't they fire Mike Brown as well?
Yep.
Yeah, bro. It's insane. I don't know what they were doing over there in Sacramento.
They don't know what they're doing in Sacramento. They were actually going to be my honorable mention because it's like the trades that they're doing, just like they're not necessarily benefiting the team. They're just like a bunch of question marks. They've been doing this for so long. Like, they did it with Marvin Bagley and De'Aaron Fox. They did it with Tyrese Halliburton. Like, we've seen this cycle of just like idiocracy, you know what I mean, among the front office. And it's like, what are we doing? We thought the hiring of Mike Brown was going to do good. It went spectacular. They shot up to the 3rd seed, took the Warriors to 7 games. Like, we were like, okay, like the Kings are making moves. They're doing something good now. And then they just all of a sudden plummet down to, I don't know, what was it, like a 9 or 10 seed now? And then fire their best coach that they've probably ever had. So Kings, I'm surprised the Kings aren't worse than they are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, how do you make it back out of poverty just to make it right back down to poverty in 2 seasons, bro?
Yeah, like it's kind of crazy to be as bad as they are, and I feel like they should be like a lower seed.
Right, and this is just like all their own doing too. You can't really say, oh, injuries have, ruined them or anything like that. It's just like they've done this to themselves, and we had the formula and they got rid of it. And the bad decisions aren't stopping here. Like, I know they've been trying to get rid of Malik Monk. And now they don't really have a point guard after De'Aaron Fox is gone. Like, it's just Keon Ellis, and he's only defense. Yeah, he doesn't really play how a point guard should. So they're in a rut, and it's more than a rut, to be honest. This is just going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
And now they got bad contracts they probably can't get rid of. So they're just in purgatory, the worst place to be.
They're in purgatory at a 9 seed, bro. Mind you, the Wizards are in purgatory. Just putting that into perspective, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it's just sad. Malik Monk, that news kind of hurt me, bro. They're wasting Keegan Murray. Yeah, it's like Sabonis. Like, how many great talents are they gonna waste before they finally get it together?
Are we looking at the Sixers of the West, bro? Is that what we're looking at right now?
It almost gives that, because they think about how much great talent the Kings have had. DeMarcus Cousins, they had Halliburton, they had
Isaiah Thomas.
They had Buddy Hield. They had so much great talent on their team, And now it's like you look at the roster now, and it's like they still have great talent there, but it's just like, how much longer are you going to be able to hold on to Sabonis? How long will it take before they trade away Keegan Murray? Like it's just like I don't know what they're doing over there. All right. Any honorable mentions?
Nah, mine was said. Both of mine for succeeders and disappointers.
Disappointer, LaMelo Ball's knees and ankles, I guess, because every year I'm like, if he can stay healthy, maybe they get play in, and he's out for like 30, 40 games, and just it's the Eastern Conference Zion Williamson type situation. Now I know LaMelo plays more games, but like he's never actually been in playoffs. He's always hurts, and it's just the team can't really do anything unless they can see their star player on the court, and it's just never the case.
Yeah. And it's getting to the point where people are doubting LaMelo as a player, saying that he's an empty player who only like pads his stats and doesn't actually help his team win, which is not true at all. Like every time he's on the court, like their chances of winning skyrockets. I'm pretty sure every win they have now is because LaMelo was on the court. So it's just like, it's just sad, bro. Because this is a guy who could be a generational talent, but he never plays a full game or a full season. And it's just like it's the same situation every year with the Hornets, where LaMelo Ball's back for a couple games, they do better, he goes down, and they fall right back down to 14th, 15th, worst team in the league. And I've seen them twice, so I know from experience. I know from experience.
I got plenty of experience.
And now it's just like they have a lot of good talent on the Hornets as well. Like they're building up young guys, but it's almost like that means nothing because the guys, all their team is young in general, but in a bad way. None of them are actually like ball IQ players as well.
Yeah.
So it's just like they don't really, the vets they have are vets that nobody else wants. They had Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward, who are getting 20 each and still losing games. So it's just like it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on in Charlotte because like I feel like they have such a talented roster, but no way to actually make that talent equal W's in the column. I guess I would say my honorable mention, someone I was gonna say, but I was like, they did so bad. Like, how disappointing are they really? I think the Pelicans, even though a lot of people thought they were gonna be bad, finishing 14th in the West, I don't think anyone really expected. And it's just sad what happened in New Orleans. Just like it seemed like their future was so bright when they first picked up Zion, and it just seems like the furthest they've been so far is play-ins. How they and maybe I think they made one playoff appearance, if even, and now they blew it up, and it's just like no one expected that to be the case when they first picked up Zion, was for them to blow it up in 4 years. So
they had so much talent too. CJ, they added DeJounte Murray, Zion, Herb Jones, Ingram, Alvarado, Trey Murphy. Like there's a complete team there somewhere. They either A, couldn't stay on the court together, or B, just never gained the chemistry. And now it's just like you kind of have to give it up because now some positions, too many chefs in the kitchen. You're gonna be your best team when Zion is on the court, but the problem is like LaMelo, he's not on the court, so what your game plan is supposed to be is just always going to be missing that. And I don't know what they do moving forward. Like I would think CJ McCollum trade would be beneficial, but then they got Jordan Poole, who isn't necessarily going to help the fluidity of their offense. Like, yeah, he'll score, but they got plenty of scorers, a rough spot.
Yeah, the Pelicans are, because I was literally going to compare Zion to like LaMelo and the fact that, they can't get through full seasons, and it sucks because like these guys were like two of the most highly scouted prospects in their draft class. You know what I mean? So, I mean, hopefully later down the line, they get their things together and try and stay healthy. But if we can get a full season out of either one or both of them, we might be able to see these teams, turn it around a little bit. Because, like, also, too, like, it doesn't mean much, but, like, the Hornets just won Summer League as well. So hopefully that's a sign for them, that they got some young guys that they can bring up and help turn that organization around.
Mm-hmm.
Pelicans, though, are doomed.
Yeah, bro. It's looking wraps for New Orleans back to where they started, bro. Not that they got very far in the first place, but still. All right. Any other honorable mentions? Anyone you want to bring up that you feel like we glossed over?
I think that's it for me.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Well, that's all we have for you today then. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure you give that good old 5 stars, leave a review. We're also on YouTube for that good old video format, so make sure you like and subscribe there. Let us know who you think succeeded and disappointed this season. We covered a good amount of teams, but maybe we skipped over someone who you thought disappointed a lot more than what we mentioned. We're also on all social media platforms at Spin the Rock, so make sure you check us out there for clips, episode updates, and all that good stuff. Until then, see you again next week. Thank you for watching.